Kosovo is steviger dan ooit in Servische handen en de mensenrechten, daar worden die op grote schaal geschonden. En daar komt nog bij dat alles wat Servisch was zich nu min of meer aan de zijde van Milosevic schaart. Zelfs diens gezworen vijanden hebben kritiek op de NAVO-bombardementen. En zo iemand is kroonprins Alexander van Joegoslavië. Hij is geboren en getogen in Londen, maar heeft zijn aanspraken op de Joegoslavische troon nooit opgegeven. De 45-jarige kroonprins is een verklaard tegenstander van Milosevic, maar keert zich toch met kracht tegen de NAVO-acties. Verslaggever Jan Eikelboom sprak in Londen met een kroonprins in ballingschap.
This nightmare cannot go on. The bombing must stop today. The work must start to heal. We cannot have a part of Europe being bombed into the Stone Age and people hurting because of these bombs and wondering, what is my future? It's now going into a month.
Het is een onopvallend pand in de buurt van het Londense Hyde Park. Hier is het kantoor van de kroonprins van Joegoslavië. Al zijn hele leven lang woont hij in ballingschap. Kroonprins Alexander. Hij heeft nooit de hoop laten varen dat hij eens de troon zal bestijgen. En dat hij koning wordt van een vrij en vooral een democratisch Joegoslavië.
We have determined that the people are very favorable for a monarchy because I'm not a member of a political party. I have never been and never will be. I am there for all the politicians, be they Democrats in the true sense. And I think what they need is that meeting point. They have the most difficult task of ruling the country and of answering questions in a parliament. Can you imagine the luxury of having that? And a free media, a media like yourselves in Holland, who you can ask questions to politicians and point your finger and saying, hey, you're corrupt, you're a mafia, or whatever it is like that. We need the controlling factor of that. This is the luxury. And then I would provide that unity and continuity and a lifeline to the West and use all my resources to rally up everybody to try and bring the aid that is needed, be the ambassador, serve the people, put the people first. People make a country.
Kroonprins Alexander is geboren aan het eind van de Tweede Wereldoorlog in een hotelkamer in Londen. Zijn ouders, koning Peter II en prinses Alexandra, hebben hier een toevlucht gezocht voor de nazi's. Bij de doop van Alexander is al duidelijk dat de koninklijke familie niet terug kan. De communisten onder leiding van Tito hebben de macht in Joegoslavië overgenomen en de monarchie afgeschaft.
I was given a gift when I was 2 years old of abolishment of my nationality. I don't know what I did to my own country, but it was no longer a Yugoslav and nothing connected to.
You've been living in exile for nearly 50 years. How difficult was that?
Well, it's very sad because one's father instills in one the tragedy of the whole affair, the plight of the people, and a totalitarian single-party system. So I was brought up with this, and my father was very homesick. It had a bearing effect upon one's youth, there's no doubt about it.
Koning Peter II ziet zijn land nooit terug. Hij sterft in 1970 in de Verenigde Staten. Na de val van het communisme krijgt Alexander in 1991 wel toestemming zijn land te bezoeken. De kroonprins wordt toegejuicht door een dol enthousiaste menigte.
It's a day I will never forget. To come to one's homeland that one knew about historically, that one was attached by love, and to be faced with hundreds of thousands of people was quite an effect.
Al snel wordt Alexander symbool van de democratische oppositie tegen Milosevic. In betogingen wordt zijn portret meegedragen. De kroonprins spreekt demonstraties toe.
Dragi Srbi, draga braćo I sestre.
De demonstranten krijgen uiteindelijk geen voet aan de grond. Milosevic weet met succes de democratische beweging monddood te maken.
Any of us, and I'm talking about the people, because people make a country, who wanted to bring democracy, were really castigated. The tragedy is we could not even communicate properly with the people because he has a superlative television system, electronic system that communicates with the people. Yet every foreign secretary, every foreign minister took their planes down and went to see him and shook his hand and used him. Dayton is a perfect example. While all of us who wanted democracy, which could be the only solution, were forgotten. Yet in Indonesia, everybody was on the street screaming for democracy and the demise of the dictator. The West, particularly the United States, said to the dictator, go. Not with us. They wanted their man.
Volgens kroonprins Alexander zijn de luchtaanvallen een volledig verkeerd antwoord op de hardnekkige houding van Milosevic. De bombardementen op Servische doelen werken alleen maar averechts.
I think they're a disaster. I don't think any planning took place because the airstrikes are not hurting Milosevic. I would say he ventured that he wanted to be hit by these missiles. They're hurting the people. And the people have no option but to put their arms up and say, we in fact back the government.
This is only making Milosevic stronger.
It is making him stronger. I wouldn't say for long, but it's making him stronger. And now we're coming into 4 weeks closely. I don't see an end to in the tunnel. I don't see a light because it's the 50th anniversary of NATO. Nobody wants to lose face. The people of Yugoslavia are suffering, and I mean everybody. The Serbs, the Montenegrins, the Muslims, the Catholics, the Kosovars, everybody is suffering, and it's an utter nightmare. I think what we need, the best medicine, is really democracy, for once and all. I mean, this is it, democracy. And the West did not do anything. European Union was clinically dead, burning up fossil fuels, flying people around. It achieved absolutely nothing. Look where we are today.
Kroonprins Alexander onderhoudt goede contacten met wereldleiders als Clinton, Blair en Chirac. En ook in die contacten oefent hij naar eigen zeggen kritiek uit op de NAVO-acties in zijn vaderland.